Well, hello everyone, it's Kari from sunshineatmypocket.com, and today we're going to make a fun little mixed media card with a lot of my favorite colors. I just pulled out some colors with some distress oxides, and I suggest you use oxides for this technique. This is one of my favorite things to do right now, and that is to ink on some distress oxides and random colors, try to get them to blend, and then create a background with a lot of different products. So today I'm going to be using distress oxides. We're going to use some stamping and some embossing and use some stencils over the top. So you can see that I'm just randomly putting these colors on, and I apologize for the shaking a little bit of the camera while I ink this on. I am going to just skip ahead because I worked through this to try to get them to blend without turning into muddy colors. So usually you want to do colors that are next to each other on the color wheel, and that will make sure that your colors don't turn into weird colors. So I've got kind of a mess right now on my hands, but don't worry because we're going to add a lot of things over the top. I'm going to pull in this Hug in a Mug stencil, which is a 2-layer stencil, and add some of the same colors over the top of that first initial ink blending. So for the purple, I'm going to add purples over the top. For the salvage patina area, I'll add that salvage patina over the top, and so on and so forth. Now you can add this as dark or as light as you want. I'm doing kind of a light inking, but I wish I would have done a little darker so you could see it better in the video. You obviously could see it in real life, but things turn up a little lighter on the video. But you can kind of see the shadows here in each of the colors. And now I'll add that second layer and match it up to those cups where they belong, just like this. And then I'm going to add even more of that same colored ink over the top. So this is going to look like a shadow of these stencils over that background. It's really fun, but we're not going to be finished yet. Well, let me show you what it looks like so far. So there you can see all the details and the colors. And now I'm going to put my inks away because we're going to add some embossing powder now. I am going to dry this a little with my heat gun and test it before I do any of the embossing, because I don't want the embossing powder to stick all over the background. So to do that, I sprinkle a little bit of embossing powder over the panel and just make sure it's not sticking. So I'm bringing in the coffee ring stencil now, which is really great because not only does it look like coffee rings, but also some splatters. I'm just going to go right in with the Versamark sticky ink right through the stencil. I'm not being too careful because it doesn't matter if this is perfect. It's going to look cool no matter what. So once I have that, I'm going to open up my paper and add the white embossing powder over the top to stick to those rings and the splatters. Doesn't that look cool? So we'll heat set that, and that's going to be our background with multiple layers, and it's going to add some interest to our card. Once we have the background done, it's time to focus on the focal point of the card. I'm bringing in a few different sets from Missing Stamps. This one is Caffeinated Critters, and I really wanted to use that little capybara with the coffee cup or hot cocoa cup, whatever you want it to be. I'm going to stamp him out with some Copic friendly ink and color him up with some Copic markers. I'm using different shades of teals and browns kind of to match that background. The coffee cup will be the teal colors, and then I'll color up this little capybara in some of my favorite shades of browns. I'm going to leave a little bit of the coloring in so you can just see how simple this image is to color. It comes together very quickly, and I just love the colors matching that background. So there's the blue. Now I'll come in with some browns, and I'm going to create kind of a muzzle for him with a lighter shade than the rest of his body. So I'll start out with that E30 and color in his feet, his hands, his little muzzle. Then I'll go in with some of the darker colors. This is E31 just to darken up that muzzle a little bit and the feet and the hands. And then I'll blend that through and start coloring the rest of the image with some of my darker E shades. This one is the E37. So I'm going to stick with the E30s family for this coloring today, make it nice and simple on myself. And you can see those colors. E35 is my next color. You can see them up on screen. Hopefully I'm going to keep those in screen for you. And I just go with my favorite way of coloring, which is to start with the darkest, bring in the lighter colors and blend them all through, and then come back in with some of the darker shades to add a little more contrast if I think it's needed. So I'm going to work on this capybara for a few minutes here, and then I'll go ahead and color his head as well with those same shades of brown. I'm also going to bring in a little bit of pink for his ears, but it's pretty simple coloring today. I like bringing in multiple shades sometimes just to add more contrast. So today I have 4 or 5 different shades that I'm using. And I think he's starting to look really cute. But again, I'm going to darken up some of those dark colors and blend through one more time until I'm happy with the way he looks. Like I say, it's pretty easy coloring today. And I'm going back, it looks like, through all the colors again. Once I have him finished, I'm going to use the coordinating dies to cut him out. I love having the coordinating dies for these little characters. It's so quick and easy. So I just tape that on, run it through, and we've got him ready to go. There are some great sentiments in this stamp set that you could use that go really well with this stamp. Today I decided to choose a different one, and I'll show you that in a minute, but I've got these heart postage dies that I'm going to use to make him stand out from that background just a little bit. So I'll cut out the postage dies using both the inside and the outside. So I have a frame there. I'll pull this out and show you. So I have a frame, and now I'm going to cut just the outside piece in white. So you can see if you add both of them together, you get just the frame. If you do just the outside piece, you get the whole solid piece. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to use some of those same colors. I'm not re-inking my ink blending tools. I'm just going to use whatever's left on that brush, make it a nice soft heart, and then that frame in gray to have it stand out just a touch. I'm going to cut out one of these lips to go on the side here. I thought that would be funny. So I cut it out a few times so I could build it up. And I'll use the pink to add some extra color. I'm just going to glue those together using liquid adhesive to make it be a little more dimensional. And that's going to create a fun embellishment for our card. Just like that. There we go. That's going to go right there. Now in choosing my sentiment, I'm taking the Oh Capy Day stamp set, and in that there is a sentiment that says, "Don't worry, be Capy." This is a good reminder for me a lot. So I thought it was appropriate for today. Don't worry, be Capy. And I'm going to just start gluing everything together now and put it all on the card. I did add some foam dots to the back of the sentiment to pop that up just a little bit. And now I'll add the whole thing to our card base, just like this. And it's a side folding card base today. And that's going to work out just perfectly, just like that. And there's a look at our final card. Look how fun that background is with all the texture from the embossing powder and the details with that 2-layer stencil. I hope you enjoyed how this turned out today. It was really fun. I think it would be fun in fall colors too. I thought of that after I finished the video, of course. Anyway, if you love this video, give it a thumbs up. Thanks so much. It really helps with our channel, and I'll be back real soon to share more cards. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.